All right, part two in the mess. Monologue I'm trying to do. I gotta keep her in my arms. Her balance is going so screwed up right now. It is about what is it? 1:43 in the afternoon, still on the 16th of June. Still Wednesday, 2026. And I'm still the Weaver John C. of Rosamond, California. And you know the schmuck that does the diary of a griever named John Weaver? Yeah, it's me. So, I was talking about Trump and the situations happening with this guy. By succumbing to the only thing he could is by chewing on humility and humbleness. He cannot deal with humility and humbleness, especially in an action that he caused. A lot of there has been a cost of a great deal of lives, of machinery, of rights, rules, regulations. God knows what else we got going on at this point over here. He caused a war. And now he's going to sign it off and probably forget about it. But the American public ain't going to forget about this one. Neither is the world. He goes over to the G7 conference, and he's trying to think that he's king. He's going to be ruling all over them. His ego and his dementia, which everybody over there knows that he's got it. They're wondering how come the United States isn't going to be doing anything about it. His administration is already haranguing people over at the World Cup games, and he'll do the same damn thing when it comes after the Olympics. Before we had Trump and his insanity going on, when we actually had World Cup games and Olympics, each country was respecting citizens coming over, tourists, athletes, visitors. They all want to show the best of their country. We kept trying to show the best of our country until we actually had November 2024 elections happening. And then we threw it all away. We were telling the public, telling the world population, America is not the greatest, because we have made the most dumbest mistake we ever made in the election. We voted in an egomaniac who wanted more, and he brought in friends to screw everybody else over. And they're still doing it. Multimedia platforms, multimedia accounts, military being run by artificial intelligence who launched 2,000 missiles at Iran. Artificial intelligence who made their rulings and killed a lot of people were the dumbest thing ever. Iran swore they kept their promise, but we didn't believe them concerning about the nuclear weapons being there or not. But they still got materials. Okay, they got materials. Do they have the weapons? It's bad enough when we actually had faulty intelligence after the attack in 9/11. Various departments who couldn't get their act together and their asses together were so damn convincing to President Bush at the time, Jr., George W. Bush, that he believed that they had weapons of mass destruction in Iraq and they had to be stopped. But we were still on the hunt for Osama bin Laden. And we thought he was in Afghanistan. Therefore, we sent the war machines out to both countries and chalked up the body count. And because it was a NATO country that got attacked, Article 5 was induced, activated, and more countries who are helping out the United States were also increasing the body count during that time. Well, we found out in Iraq that it was bogus. But it did help the people in a way of getting rid of Osama, putting up their old differences of their own sects against each other, their own groups, and made it into an internal war situation over there. If we had kept Saddam, maybe he would have done something, but we kept the international no-fly zones over his ass. We kept an eye on the guy. But to hear about the weapons of mass destruction, that was the thing Bush would not deal with. And he sent. And we found out there was nothing over there. Except a lot of pissed off Iraqis. But it took us years to find Osama, plug him, and dumped his ass. And yes, it was on a president's watch, somebody that Trump really hates. Trump wanted to get a victory so he could feel proud of what he did. For going over to a country and attacking the crap out of it. And then claiming he had victory over him. We had made a terrible cost, and we're still going to be paying it generations down the road, what we did to Iran. We're not going to recover from this. We're not going to recover from it. It's not humiliations or humbleness. That's not it. It's the financial difficulties that we're going to be going through. The energy crisis that Trump created by going after Iran, that's going to bite people in the ass for a hell of a long while. And also his tariffs have been ill thought. I use that expression because he didn't use any intelligence on this one. That tariffs were draining the population of the United States dry. How the thing worked in his head was, we're going to be taxing everybody and gaining the profits from the taxes from the countries and make us filthy rich. What the asshole never encountered was, if we're going to be taxing a country over its products that we've been using for a long while, the population of the United States pays the price on that one. That price of the item that we were previously purchasing is going up. There you hold a battery. A AAA. A Delco. I couldn't tell you where these things were made, except they were probably made in Ontario, California. So this is a local product. But let's just say that I had gotten myself a different brand of battery. And it comes from a different country that we just tariffed. The price of the AAA would be at a certain level that I would be paying all along to get these batteries because I use them a great deal. However, the country that I would have been importing into my country over here for these batteries, they had a set price. But after a tariff has been reached, I have to pay the tariff. I have to pay that extra cost. Now, the manufacturer can try to absorb the extra cost, but they're going to be putting themselves into the red. And the major thing was we were supposed to be having industries created out of this tariff insanity so we could compete with what we just did to the extreme. Now, let's put something into more realistic. Food. There are food products that the United States is importing still. And we have set prices. Sometimes they fluctuate because of supply and demand. This is business 101. But what if you wanted to get extra money out of the country for that particular product? Well, it sure shows it's either negotiations on it, or we are going to tax the crap out of them. But we're not really taxing the crap out of the exporting country. as we are importing. No, we got to make the prices a little bit more higher for us to use it. The thing of it is, we use a lot of starches, sugars. We use a lot of fruit, vegetables. We can't grow it. We got to import. We had a beef industry being destroyed by the Trumps. Sent a lot of aid over to Brazil. They've got the money. We got shit. We got another bug coming through that's destroying our own crops. Not crops of plants, but of animals. Some kind of flesh-eating bug coming out of flies' ass. These larvae are making decimation of our cattle. They're doing decimation in other countries. They're killing them off left and right. We had a food and drug industry plan to keep this shit out of our country. Unfortunately, because of stupidity in the federal government, currently with the current Trump regime, and you guys wanted this shit going on, you voted a son of a bitch in. We now have to deal with food shortages coming up. Prices may be stabilized right now, but when they start getting less and less in the shelves, they're going to become more and more priced. It's not just tariffs. The tariffs on the other countries concerning about the stuff that we're importing in, we still have to shell it out of our pockets if we got enough money for it. What happens if those who actually have set limited budget in their pocketbooks every month sees these prices increase? We have to balance them out somehow. We have to make sure that we're going to continue to get the same stuff we're going, or not get them, and deal with our other priorities. But what happens if everything's a priority? You look at what you got. You have to make the hardest, cruelest decisions ever. Do you eat? Do you pay a bill? Do you take care of a dog? Do you take care of the rent? What about transportation? What about? I have a credit card. I paid for her. I have to keep paying it off. So I still have a little bit of credit left in case I may need it for the last time. And I can't take her to the vet all that time. So she's got to deal with the vertical for a long while now until I pay off that damn card. Because the last visit is going to be the last visit. Unless there's going to be something else I can afford to take care of her. So she's going to be stuck with her vertigo for a hell of a long while. That's not tariffs, that's my own economics happening right now as it is. Well, what if I like pineapple? What if I like produce? What if my doctors are telling me that I am deficient in certain vitamins and iron and minerals, and I have to get these certain types of food? And these types of food are imported. To keep me alive, I have to start saying, okay, energy bill, I have to increase you less for this particular month period, and then pay the rest of you off next month. And then I still have to deal with that month's period, and so forth, so forth. It's calling half pay. You pay partial for this particular month, and then the next month you pay the rest of it, but you still got to do a partial for that particular month, and so on and so forth. But some industries want full. I've got rent due. They want a certain dollar cap to keep rising every month. Actually, not every month, but every year. When COLA goes up, my rent goes up. I try to keep track of that inflation there. But I'm also saying the food price is going up. I like beef. But I don't have it all that often. I have chicken all the time. I'm waiting for that thing to get affected. More so. There are things I have to keep checking on to see if the federal government is going to be screwing me over one way or another. There had been reports, and it's still being denied, but reports are still out there, and I'm not taking I'm not taking it for granted. A morning, my Social Security is in danger. I get disability because I am disabled. It's been proven legally in the courts. What does get to me is when I have some schmuck of a House Speaker who makes side remarks that he's going to be cutting next year of Social Security and then starts flat out denying it. Believe the first remark, don't trust the other shit that he's coming out of his mouth. He's going to do it. He's going to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Which means any services I have at my doctor's office for any medical treatment, including therapy, is going to be cut. And I may have to pay for it out of my Social Security that I'll be getting. So this is what's happening for me, guys. I don't know what's happening to you, but this is what's happening to me. And I blame the voters for allowing this shit to happen. That being said.